The ControlLogix processor also reports system faults that may occur during normal operation. These faults fall into two categories: major faults and minor faults. Major faults shut down the ControlLogix system, while minor faults do not. Major faults also fall into two categories as well: recoverable and non-recoverable. Major recoverable faults are faults that will shut the system down unless there is a fault handler routine that contains code that clears the fault. These recoverable faults may be the result of instruction executions, transfer of wrong values into an instruction, like for example, a transfer under program control of a negative value into a timer's preset or accumulated value, or I/O communication errors, where in the module's communication configuration, the selection causes a major fault if there is an error in the module's communication. Major recoverable faults. When a major recoverable fault is generated and shuts down the ControlLogix system, the output modules will be commanded to the program mode state in which they were configured. For instance, if a major recoverable fault occurs and the output point 5 is set to on in the program mode, then the field device wired to this output via the RTB will turn on and remain on until the fault is cleared and the controller goes back into the run mode. An example of a shutdown due to an instruction is the execution of code which tries to read or write past an array dimension limit, in which case the controller generates a major recoverable fault, and if not cleared, the system is shut down. Another type of major recoverable fault that will shut down your system, regardless of a fault handler routine created to clear the fault, is the watchdog timer fault. If the watchdog is triggered twice in a program scan, the controller will shut down. We might recall that the watchdog timer value is set for a continuous task, or any other task that is added to the project. This watchdog value is the time value that is allowed for the task to execute its complete program scan. The default value assigned to the watchdog is 500 milliseconds. And if the controller does not finish its task in that time period, in each of 2 tries, the controller is issued a major recoverable fault and shuts down. This type of fault cause is generally linked to a bug in the program code, and most of the time involves conditional jumps backward to labels in a routine, where program control gets stuck in an endless loop that triggers the watchdog timer, which, if triggered twice, a fault is generated. As opposed to other faults, the controller only knows that the watchdog fault occurred in a specific routine, but cannot specify the rung that is causing the fault. If you experience a watchdog problem fault, it is a good idea to search to find jump and label instructions and revise the locations in the code for possible endless loop conditions caused by the jump to a back label. Clearing a major recoverable fault. When a major recoverable fault occurs and the controller shuts down, the front panel of the controller will indicate the fault by illuminating in red the OK LED light, where in the L8 controller, the LED will be solid red, while in the L7 controller, it will blink red. Additionally, the controller will scroll the word faulted, followed by the type, signified by a T, and the code, signified by a C of the fault.